All right, y'all. We're here recording right now. We're live. It says not live, but recording. Live enough for me. Almost too live. Check this out. Let's just read that headline again. New Neanderthal complicates. Near Neanderthal complicates the human family tree. Now y'all know how I feel about the human world, but we're going to literally undo all the foolery that is here. So look at this man right here who's indigenous to the land. And as he sit right here in the picture, it says ancestors of New Guineans may have mixed with the newly discovered human lion in South Asia. Now, ancestors of New Guineans being people from Papua New Guinea, right on. Those are the people who I've already said multiple times are a Japhetite or Japhetic people, meaning that they come from the seed of Japhet. There's even a story in the Bible, in the book of Joshua, I want to say, where when the people take over, no, Judges, excuse me, is it Judges or Joshua? I'm thinking it's Joshua, right before Judges, where the people take over the Promised Land, and the children of Joseph go and take over the land that they're in. And there's a place called Luza, Luza. It's in Russia right now. The man's name is Luz, who allowed the two spies to come into the city that they allowed to live. Furthermore, I'm not saying that this would be, this guy in this picture would in any way, shape, or form be a child of a character like Luz, but this man does have a net or something like that on his head. He's not just what they would have you to think him to be. Right on. They have this brother right here, but he's not the near Neanderthal. Word? The near Neanderthal are the ones who are here, who complicate the human family tree, which is the peoples, right? But they're the ones who are the ones in Russia. You see what I'm saying? So you see this 40,000-year-old number, you have to put that out your mind. We're changing lanes just for a second, people. Listen, a newly described extinct line of Neanderthal-like human ancestors to Melanesian populations of the South Pacific. Listen, they don't know how to put the stuff because they don't want to say, they want to try to make it seem like black people are from the caves. Listen to me. If these dudes are related to the Papua New Guineans in any way, shape, or form, that means that there's children of Japhet. Okay? I know people don't understand this. Let me break something down to y'all. This is an old man. He's so old he no longer has eyebrows. Right on? That's how old he is. We've all seen people get that old. This is not a young buck. This man is far past his prime of his physical peak and just who he is as a person. But he's so wise. Right on? His wisdom is so much alive that you can see it because he's still here in this picture when they took it. Now, this article is from back in 2011, right on? But that doesn't matter. The Denisovans, we're going to skip through all this. Don't even bother reading all this stuff. People, listen. You'll have a way of getting it. I'll make sure that you get to this article. Okay? Let's just move on. Let's look at something else again. Do y'all remember this? Let's go ahead and blow it up just a little bit. Heterozygosity. Does anybody remember that? Anybody remember what that means? Does anybody have it in their minds as to what this means? Okay. Still a little bit too big, just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Well, there we go. Bam. Had to fix my screen there. Heterozygosity is of a major interest to the students of genetic variation in natural populations. It is often one of the first parameters that one presents in the data set. It can tell us a great deal about the structure, even history of a population. Just for example, very low heterozygotes for allozyme loci in cheetahs and black-footed ferrets indicate severe effects of small population sizes, population bottlenecks, or metapopulation dynamics that severely reduce the level of genetic variation relative to that expected or found in comparable animals. High heterozygosity means lots of genetic variability. Now, stop right there. Now, they don't mention that the cheetah is a highly hunted animal, right, by poachers. I haven't looked up the Blackfoot ferret, but I wouldn't be surprised if the black-footed ferret was also a highly poached animal. It's not proper, nor is it intelligent to indicate heterozygosity based on the number of a population of a species, because if they, for example, if they refuse to interbreed, that means that their numbers would be lower. But if something happens to them that is not natural to the environment, that also brings about a lower gene diversity, or what they feel is a lower gene diversity, which is just everyone not mixing in together. See, that first article I just read to y'all was about it's about as clear as I can make it. Now, while we're here, I'm just gonna go to Google. Watch this. What area is South Asia?
According to Wikipedia, South Asia is the southern region of Asia, which is defined in both geographical and ethno-cultural terms.
Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives. Listen, listen. We could look up right there the Wikipedia, all the different. They have every major every major religion is what they believe in. Right now, let's just go back 2 pages. Bang bang. Now let's just go back to my guy right here real quick before we really get off to this white heaven changing lanes. I need y'all to understand. This is the indigenous man of the area. This man is indigenous. They want you to believe that because he's old now and he's past his physical prime, who knows what he looked like 40 years ago, 50 years ago when he was a lot younger, 60 years ago, because you don't know how old this man is. You don't know. This man could be almost 80. So when you look at an individual like this and you don't have the proper respect in your mind, already it's wrong. Already. They said, what again? Look, y'all. Ancient ancestors, of New Guineans may have mixed with newly discovered human line in South Asia. Now, how can they be the ancestors of these dudes who mix with the newly discovered human line? But in this, you try to claim that this newly described extinct line of Neanderthal light human ancestors to Melanesian populations of the South Pacific. So, how can you be the ancestor of the same people that you're saying? Once again, that this whole line of logic doesn't make sense. I need y'all to understand what they're saying here doesn't make sense. This man comes from an indigenous people. Word. Now they found this in Russia. That's another thing. Russia is not South Asia. That's another thing I wanted to point out to y'all. The reason why I'm doing this is so that way you can see when I change these lanes and we come back to regular, typical white heaven thinking, y'all start to look at this just a little bit different. Come on, look now. We're gonna go somewhere. We're gonna go on a small adventure, and y'all explain it to me. Look at the pictures. Look at what these cats look like, right? Look at their skin tone, right? You see them. Let me just blow it up a little bit. Ooh, look at these dudes. Look at these dudes. Do y'all see them? Okay. Do y'all see them? I mean, we all can see what's going on here, but do y'all really see these that are white looking? So I need y'all to understand. One of the countries that you're about to read about is technically defined as South Asia. Word? How can you be in Afghanistan, Pakistan, anywhere like that, India, and not be considered South Asia? They want to call these dudes Central Asia. Afghanistan is not Central Asia. China is Central Asia. Word? Can you dig it? Like, let's not be stupid about it. Because if Russia is Eurasia, or certain parts of it, once again, man, I need y'all to really get to thinking about it. Because only other area from that is the Mediterranean. Right. So they can't have it both ways. Now let's just scroll down here. We're gonna take that down just a little bit in size. And we're gonna find the right spot. Hmm. Mm, is this the right one? Hold on. Ooh. Let's see real quick. There's a lot of information here that I have to disseminate to y'all. More white skin looking individuals, even though these are mongoloid looking individuals, right? Don't look nothing like my dude. And we was just about to go looking for oh yeah. We can use this one. We can use this one. Okay, here we go. The Ilkhans were a Mongol minority ruling over a Muslim majority. Now, you gotta understand, y'all, this is in the years so-called 1256. So-called, we don't really know, right? We're going to skip past a lot of this. We'll come back to that later. I like to keep a couple aces up the sleeve. They're a Mongol minority ruling over a Muslim majority. Now, listen, let me tell you why that's an insult to anyone's intelligence. Till this day, they'll tell you that most, if not all, the Mongol bloodlines on this planet, on this earth, are mixed with Genghis Khan's blood because he has so many children. Right on. So how could they be telling us that Genghis Khan, who had, thousands of children, questionably in his own life, talking about from his loins, might have produced over 1,000 children, if not more. You're trying to tell us that there were, once again, where did these guys come from? Word? Because I'm going to read something to y'all that you guys have to see. You know what? Before this, yeah, I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. Here we are. Genghis Khan, right? 1196, right? Now, we're going to just skip through some stuff. It's because there's a whole lot going on here. I don't want to overwhelm your minds. The South was ruled by the Song dynasty, and the North was already under a Manchurian dynasty of Mongol origin. Now, they can't tell you where the Mongols come from, but they came, you know where I say all these cats came from. Let's go ahead and let's just keep it moving. Right on? Let's just go ahead and keep it moving. We're going to skip past all this, one of the most ferocious things the world has ever known. Let's just read something. The Mongols then turned west beyond the Pamirs and attacked the Silk Route city of Merv. They are said to have massacred 700,000 inhabitants and even killed all the cats and dogs. No, they ate all the cats and dogs. Bam. Soon the Mongol Empire stretched all over China into Afghanistan, through much of the Middle East, and into Europe as far as Poland. Stop right there. Why do you think these cats look so-called Mongoloidish, like white Asian dudes till this day? I need y'all to get this for a second. Where did these cats come from? Word? Now look at this dude. Let's just blow him up real quick. He's a Kyrgyz tribesman of Euro-Asian steppe region with his hunting eagle. Bet you this dude speaks a whole bunch of Eastern Bloc languages. And it'll tell you that he's the true Slavic, if you let him tell the story, but he's clearly a Mongoloid. Anyway, he looks no different than a whole bunch of those black-skinned Africans. That's neither here nor there. The Islam and Turks. There we go. Let's get back to it. Let's pull up the Uyghurs. Y'all don't understand what I'm going right now here in a minute. In a second, it might make sense. We're going to search the sidebar for Uyghurs. Look at these guys. Right on. This is it's a Turk looking white dude, and behind him is an Asian looking dude. Okay? Bam. Now let's go ahead and do it the hardcore way. Back. X. Where they at? Don't do that to me. Ooh. Search the web for them, right? Can I get the picture of my guy? No. I just have to just blow it up right here. Best I can. Look at him. He's an Asian looking dude. I know you can't really see the picture like that, but look at his face. Word, but the picture that shows of a listen. The Uyghurs are the they're a part mixture. I know it's hard for y'all to believe. Of this dude, cats who look like this, cats who look like this, and of course, Merovingian. There we go. Images. There we go. Nice. Cats who look like this. Boom. Now, these cats are around in 1265. They're taking over all the known world. Listen. They're taking over all the known earth. The only places they don't take over are these places. Now, how could they go on these crazy ass rampages, killing 700,000 people type shit, right? But yet, and it's in this one that I needed to read the stuff to y'all about the religious stuff. Right on? Yeah, I'll pull it up here in a second. I'll read it here in a second. But how can they want you to believe that? Once again, let's just look at this right here. 500 BCE, these cats are pushing in to the Baltic region. They're saying that they're the Slavic dudes. They're saying that the Slavic dudes come from these Germanic tribes. But clearly, there's pictures of people right now, so-called people right now, who defy those odds. They don't look anything Germanic. They look like Mongoloids. And they claim to be of Germanic root, or at least some of their bloodlines do. So, once again, these are all Germanic type cats. I'm going to just scroll down to the spot that we need. The Advent of Clovis. We'll get back to it. I know we're all over the place, y'all. I got to touch those. I got to keep your brains engaged. I got to keep you engaged. Now, here we are. Much of the religious conflict during the early Ilkhanate related to doctrinal differences between Islam and traditional Mongol way of life. The most stubborn problem was for the two contradictions between the traditional Mongolian method of animal slaughter, which required that no blood be spilled, and the Islamic code of cleanliness. Stop right there. So, meaning that eating the blood is unclean. That's a fact, which necessitated that all blood be drained. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Islamic code. They got that out the Bible. They copied that from the Bible. Word? They knew that they could never be the Israelites, so they created their own religion that was a carbon copy of what the Israelites believed, so they could try to attain the faith by what they think is right. You understand? But it doesn't matter, because if you worship something that is unclean, I'm calling Allah unclean in the level of that is not the name that the Most High God calls himself. No name is clean to the Most High God. So anyone calling him something, thinking that that name sticks to him, knowing that all that his language, his name has been defiled, the language has been defiled, should know better. Having said that, do y'all see that the difference in this right here? An unclean way of eating the animal, and the so-called Islamic code, which is actually the law of Moses, okay, which necessitated that all the blood be drained. Each side was appalled by the other customs. Furthermore, as practitioners of rigid monotheism, Muslims found the Mongol worship of religious images repulsive, a ritual strictly forbidden in Islam. Let me just go ahead and ask y'all again. Where did Islam get all these tenets from, if not from the laws of Moses? And claim that the people who read the book didn't do right by the book, but the cats who they were saying who read the book were confused, but you're not even the people. So how can that be the case? You're not even an Israelite telling somebody that they were confused. But don't worry, we're going to go over all that information. Look at these cats. Extra Mongol looking. Y'all all have met Guineans who look like this. Look, these cats have beards. These cats can grow facial hair. I don't know if he's shaved or if he can't. You see what I'm saying? These guys grow a little bit of facial hair. These guys clearly grow beards in their face. I need y'all to understand that, man. Like, they're all not the same. Word? Go ahead and take that down. Where we at? No, not the Greece talking about. No, that's right. Invasion of Greece by the Gauls, 279 BCE. Let's go back. Bam. Early history of the Germanic tribes. Let's just hit this again. Let's just see if anybody. And before we do that, let's just read that again. They killed all the what? They killed all the folks, right? They killed all 700,000 inhabitants. They saying they even killed all the cats and dogs. Do y'all believe me now when I say that these Mongols ate those cats and dogs and didn't even drain the blood out of them? Okay. Anyway, and they think we don't waste anything, and they believe by not wasting anything that they're more grateful to nature, but they're a mongoloid creature who, not even by force, by the same level of wicked, conniving, evil, trite ways, were they able to take over. Because I'm quite sure that these cats who they rolled up on didn't know that they were coming, so they came out of nowhere. Now, back to Germanic history. Don't worry, we're going to get back to heterozygosity again in a minute. I just want everybody to explain to me, how could this black dude, how could he have mixed with a group that's human-like, right? You follow me? And it not be these Mongoloids in these so-called Germanic tribes. Let's go ahead and read this again. Follow me. They'll tell you comfortably that the bone they found is from a nigga and 40,000 years old. Look. And they said they found it in Russia. The origins of the Germanic tribes is lost in the sands of time. Let's just skip forward. The Western branches split into the ancestors of the Baltic, the Celtic, the Germanic, and the Slavic tribes, as well as a welter of smaller groups as those of the Latins and Greeks. Stop right there. Problem with that is this. The invasion of Greece by the Gauls don't happen to 279 BCE, but that's before Common Era. Problem is that we start this at 8000 BCE, and they're telling you, they're willing to say that at 500 BCE-ish, they were running something. Come on. But like I said, right here is where they're willing to tell you for sure that they came into play. Come on. Now, they can't even tell you when the Mongols or the Huns came into play. They just tell you when Genghis Khan and them was alive. They don't even know. How much money you want to bet that people from the Song dynasty look more like this guy? Let's keep going. Hold on. Tribes from Scandinavia, the Goths, right? Later divided into the Ostrogoths and Visigoths. Stop right there. These are the Scandinavian tribes. Let's look something up. The Visigoths, Ostrogoths, who are the Goths, Burgundians, Vandals, actually tried to restore and preserve much of Roman imperial culture and institutions. But they're telling us that the Franks are the most important of all those groups. But the Franks are a much more clear, understandable Germanic tribe. Now, why I say what I say is because we all know that Scandinavians are the Russians, the Turks, and those type of cats. They're the Slavic tribes, y'all, and partially Baltic. Can you hear me? Now, they won't. Now, I don't understand the tribes from Scandinavia, which they should have called. Listen. These dudes are Slavs too, because they're lying right now. They're lying. See, this is why you can't trust what they're trying to tell you if they won't tell you that the Slavs and the Baltic and the Slavic people are very, very indistinguishable. Right on. They're not. They're not. There's not a clear line between them. So I just think that that's awkward. But they're telling you that right here, these guys are the Ostrogoths and the Visigoths. It tells us here that these cats are the most organized. How we know that? It says that they were not sophisticated or highly organized like the Ostrogoths or Visigoths. They were still pagan, worshipping the same gods as many of the other Germanic tribes. Let's just skip on down to the Advent of Clovis. Let's just read something about Clovis so we understand that whatever y'all want to believe, I'm not tripping. Clovis took an oath to become a Catholic Christian. Skip forward. He became the first of the German kings to embrace the Catholic brand of Christianity to which the native Roman population belonged. Stop right there. Native Roman population. But the problem with that is, this is in the year 496, 486, 500. The problem with that is this. Let's read it out loud. The Romans were soundly defeated in the year 9 AD. Stop right there. So in the year 9 AD, 400, 500 years before Clovis, right, the last of the true Romans were defeated. So how could they possibly even be Roman at that point? See, I need y'all to understand, man. I'm trying to take it there. They want you to believe some fake ass shit. I don't want you to believe no fake ass shit. If this man's DNA structure is found in Russia, how could it's all over Asia like I told y'all before? This DNA structure is all over there. How do you think you have partial Negroid and Negroid looking people and Negro looking people to this day in those countries who claim that they've always been there? It's not what people think it is. It's not. And that's where we have to, as grown men and grown women, grow up and tell ourselves the truth. How could someone like this, how could his DNA be found in Russia and it not be all over everywhere else? Think about what I'm saying. They're already telling you that they believed he made it with cats in South Asia. I told you where the places in South Asia are. So how do y'all believe that cats who look like this are native to the land? How? How? How is somebody who looks like this dude native to the land? He's not. He's an invader. Where did they come from? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Again, let's go back to heterozygosity. Let's talk about it again. Heterozygosity is what? Is of major interest to students of genetic variation in natural populations. How can it be natural if it's not native? Did y'all hear me? I'm going there. Is anybody really rocking with me right now? How can it be natural if it's not native? Don't worry, you don't need to see me for this. We breaking down information. I need y'all to keep seeing these words on the screen. I need y'all to keep seeing these things. I'm going to bless y'all. I'm going to copy paste all this. And I'm going to make sure that every last single one of these websites, y'all can read it. You can come to your own understanding for. But I'm telling you, you can't convince me to believe that what I'm showing y'all right now is not right. Now, this is at the humanlibertext.org. Let's just read some gangster shit real fast. Huluju Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan and son of Tuli, served his brother Monki, the Great Khan, and campaigned through the Middle East. The Middle East being what some people would consider the Mediterranean or even parts of South Asia. It's not Central Asia. It can't be. If it's to the west, it can't be central. Can you dig it? Because China's to the east. All those other places are to the east. So that's what I'm saying. He also destroyed the Abbasid capital of Baghdad, putting an end to the caliphate. This would be the Muslims. By 1260, Huluju controlled parts of Armenia, Iraq, Anatolia, and all of Azerbaijan, and all of Iran. Kublai Khan had awarded his brother Huluju the title of Ilkhan, a secondary Khan who remained subordinate only to the Great Khan in Mongolia. Only to the Great Khan in Mongolia. This portion of the empire became known as the Khanates of the Ilkhans. Now they want you to believe that this is Huluju and the folks. Look how white skinned they look. No, they want us to believe that. That's what they want us to believe. The Ilkhans were a Mongol minority ruling over a Muslim majority. Religious problems plagued the Ilkhan up for much of its existence. To begin with, Huluju, a Nestorian Christian who's a cat who believed in a dude who thought he was God in the flesh, weirdo stuff, who later converted to Buddhism on his deathbed, had sacked Baghdad, one of the most politically important cities in the Islamic world, an act that alienated him from his Muslim cousin Burq Khan, ruler of the Golden Horde. So listen, all these cats are not even the actual followers of the faith. They just do what's convenient. Word? The conversion of the Golden Horde to Islam had presented a real problem, for the Ilkhans had initially championed Buddhism in Iraq and Iran. Stop right there. When they sacked Baghdad, okay, you had all these cats who already said that they were Muslims. Word? Now, let me just look something up for y'all real quick. Is it Mehmet? There we go. MEH Mehmet. That's right. Mehmed. Right on. Now, did y'all understand? He is a hero of modern day Turkey. Word? Just pull up the face of this cat, blow him up. This is what they want you to think you look like. See that second picture down there? That's what they want you to think you look like. Now I'm gonna bust your asses in here in a second because I know y'all probably think I'm tripping, but I got some gangster shit for you. Bam, bam. Now understand, this is before him, okay? And he's the one who really pushed the Islam shit all over the spot. So this would have to be after Abdullah, the actual cat who they consider Muhammad and the Prophet. Word. But you got to understand, the real Abdullah, they say, is Ethiopian. So he don't look nothing like none of these dudes. Buddha's Indian. So guess what Buddha looks like way back then? The old real Saratawatama. That's right, like a nig. Word. The Judaism faith comes from who? Black people. I'm trying to break it down to y'all. All these faiths that they think they believe in come from niggas. This is why they made up, you feel me, the Islamic faith, because they could break away from the actual laws of Moses and say you need to pray 5 times a day, all this other weird shit, right on, that doesn't actually make you a righteous person. Now, where are we at? We're not gonna worry about none of that. No, look. The Muslim Golden Horde and their co-religion is the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt. Stop right there. They forced the Egyptians by 1200, 12 whatever, into being Muslims. That's not their original faith. So they went from worshiping the sun to worshiping the moon, huh? Man, I need y'all to understand, man. It's deeper than that. Here we go. It is true that as Muslims, they all came under the command of the Caliph, and in the sense they lost their independence. But the only alternative was fighting. Choosing this option, the various Turkic tribes and loosely organized tribal confederations would have to enter never-ending series of battles with the numerically vastly superior, militarily stronger, and much better campaigns or campaign and much better organized caliphal army. Furthermore, the members of Muslim forces believed in their missions of spreading only the true religion, which greatly strengthened their morale. From a military point of view, the Turks did not have a chance and they knew it. They could, however, turn the inevitable to their own advantage. When they converted to Islam, they became part of the advancing Muslim forces, themselves conquerors instead of being conquered. They shared both the honor and economic benefits derived from participating in the continuous Muslim war of conquest. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Now they want you to think that the Turks didn't invent Islam. But who are the fathers of these modern cats in Iran but the Turks? These cats all over places like Egypt but the Turks. Right on. And just look again. Invasion of Greece by the Gauls, 279 BCE. None of the history that you're seeing right now supersedes that. It's all after that. Where did all these dudes come from? Ask yourself that question. Let's look at this again. And we're going to look at that brother before we roll out. Low heterozygosity means little genetic variability, meaning that you haven't bred out, meaning that there is nothing in your natural environment that is likened to you that you can breed with because it wasn't put there naturally. Often we will compare the observed level of heterozygosity to what we expect to find under this dude's equilibrium, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. If the observed heterozygosity is lower than expected, we seek to attribute the discrepancy to forces such as inbreeding. Now stop right there. They will call it inbreeding for lions to sleep with lions, for tigers to be with tigers, for whatever bird to be with itself, for crows to be with crows. That's inbreeding. But you wouldn't even know what a crow was if they all bred out. You wouldn't even know what, you see what I'm saying? Like, their idea of understanding is so flawed, and it literally misses all the wisdom. It has no, their knowledge lacks understanding and wisdom, or their wisdom lacks knowledge and understanding. They lack two things when they have the one. And I'm trying to give y'all all the things that I got right now. Look at this picture again. Be blessed to have seen this man. That's first and last as I explained all these things to you, as I went off my beaten path just to say these things. I ended on this note. Hindi, Chinny, bye-bye. It means India and China brothers forever. People don't understand that. Where would they get that term from? That was in the 50s. But you think they just made that up? You think that had just became a thing? Once again, if this cat was mixing with cats all in South Asia, you don't think he was the bloodline of people who right now still live in India, who look black, been mixed with Mongoloid and all that other stuff? Salute.